Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the fifth lecture of social studies. In the previous lecture, we had discussed about the difference between the weather and climate, and we had discussed that what are the factors that affect weather change, and what is the name of the person who predicts weather forecast, and he's called a meteorologist, and we had and I had already told you in the previous lecture that we are going to see in detail what the weather conditions, how weather is affected, um, um, what are the things that affect weather conditions, and the instruments that are used for measuring them. So in this lecture we are going to see in detail what. So in this lecture we're going to discuss all these conditions in details, and let's get started with today's lecture. Okay. The table given below shows the instruments used to measure different conditions of weather. So I had already told you in the previous lecture that there are very different things, or different factors that are involved in predicting the weather conditions. So meteorologists, they give a prediction on the basis of these all these factors. So these factors include temperature, rainfall, the direction of the wind, the speed of the wind, the pressure of air, the amount of humidity present in the air. So all these factors, um, they are included in predicting weather conditions. So let's see the first one, temperature. Temperature, as you all know, that just like human everything, just like human beings have a temperature, air also has a temperature, and anything can be. The temperature is whether the thing is cold or hot, or what kind of, how does it feel when we touch that thing. So temperature is measured with the thermometer. As you have already seen, when you are having a fever, a thermometer is used to measure temperature of the body. If you have 99 100 plus temperature, 100 degree Celsius plus temperature, we say that person is, this is a slightly higher temperature, so it's not good for a human body. So similarly, if the temperature is very low, that's also not good for human body. So and we use a thermometer, just like we use a thermometer to measure the body temperature. We use a thermometer to measure temperature of anything. So the instrument that is used to measure the temperature of something is called a thermometer. And what does it tell? It tells us how hot or cold a place is. So if the temperature is high, the more the temperature, the hot the thing is. For example, if you say that a thing is 100 degrees Celsius hot, that means 100 degrees Celsius, the temperature of a thing is 100 degrees Celsius. That means that the thing is very hot. It's not cold, it's hot. But as temperature goes down, that means that the cold increases. If at 0 degree, probably there will be ice. 0 degree, the water gets frozen. So the less the temperature, the cold the thing is. The more the temperature, the hotter the thing is. And so the first condition that the meteorologist measure is called the temperature. And what do we measure it with? We measure it with a thermometer. And what are the units that is used for measurement? When every quantity that is measured has a unit. Just like you say that, oh, when you go to the shop, you tell the person that if you want to buy a bottle of a Coke, you would say that, oh, give me 1.5 liter bottle. So that's the unit of something. That in order to measure something, we have defined sets of units for every quantity. So the Measurement for a temperature is done in degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. So these are, in Pakistan normally we use degrees Celsius. In America and in other countries of the world, in European countries, some of the countries, foreign countries, they use Fahrenheit, but we use degrees Celsius in Pakistan. This is the unit of temperature, degree. It can be degree, it can be for Fahrenheit, or it can be degrees Celsius. So these are the units of temperature. The second condition that affects weather is rainfall, precipitation. I've already told you that precipitation is when there is evaporation, when there are water vapors in the air, or when and those water vapors that can be converted into solid or water form, and they start falling from the sky. They form. They are called precipitation. So rainfall is measured with the rain gauge. This is also an instrument which is used to measure rainfall. Let me just show you example. The instrument, the picture of a rain gauge. This is the example. This is a picture of a rain gauge. As you can see, there are some numbers written over here. These are the measurements that we can take. There is written 10, 20, 30, 40. So whatever the amount of rain will be, it will measure the water will in the rainfall. The water from the rainfall will be collected in this rain gauge, and then we are going to measure. The scientists or the meteorologist will measure how much rain has happened, or how much rainfall has happened, taken place. So this is a rain gauge, and we use millimeters to measure. This is the unit of the measuring rainfall. So we use millimeters. So these all units are 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter, 30 millimeter. So if the water is collected till here, we are going to say that the amount of rainfall that has happened has been 10 millimeters. So this is unit for um, rainfall. The third is wind direction. Wind direction is indicated by a wind vane. The arrow points to the direction opposite to where the wind comes from. This is a picture of wind vane. So obviously when wind blows, it blows in the opposite direction. So what this wind vane does is, there's an arrow that is placed on the upper side of wind vane, and the arrow, it tells us the direction which is opposite to the wind, where from where the wind is blowing. Because if you notice, when the wind is blowing, you will see that the wind always blows in opposite direction. It does not blow in the direction that you are standing. It blows in the opposite direction. So this arrow points to the direction which is opposite to where the wind is coming from. So this is called a wind vane, and wind vane helps us to tells us about the wind direction, where the wind is blowing from. And the units that are used for the measurement are north, south, east, west, and the intermediate directions. Okay, so intermediate directions are basically, basically there are four primary directions, which are north, south, east, west. So these directions are called cardinal directions. These are cardinal directions. So the direction in between these cardinal directions, they are called intermediate directions. For example, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest, or east, southeast, northeast, south, southeast. So these are called intermediate directions. So these are the units of measuring the wind direction. The next one is wind speed. Wind speed is measured using anemometer. When the wind spins the shaft, the speed of its movement is recorded. There are three shafts like this which are present, and anemometer, what anemometer does is that when the if the wind is fast, is blowing very fast, then they are going to spin very fast. So that shows that the wind is showing at a very fast pace. And if the wind is blowing at a very slow pace, then it will move slowly. So this is an anemometer. Anemometer have these shaft which spin and tell us about the direction of the speed, tell us about the speed of the wind. And the units that are used for measuring the wind speed are called knots, or nautical miles per hour. So the units that are used for measuring the weather condition, speed of the wind are called nautical miles per hour or knots, and the condition is wind speed, and the instrument that we use is called anemometer. Okay, now the next one is air pressure. Air pressure is the weight of the air pressing down on the earth's surface. It is measured by a barometer. Barometer, this is a picture of a barometer, millibars. It basically, pressure is something when you insert force on something. So when air, it inserts some pressure on when air it inserts some pressure on the surface of the earth, it is measured by a barometer. So, and the units that I use are called millibars, and this is a picture, this is and the instrument that we use is called barometer. Let me just show you a picture of it. So this is called um, barometer. This is a picture of a barometer. So the units that we use are called millibars. So the air pressure that is measured in barometer, air pressure is measured in millibars with the help of a barometer. So next one is humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. The instrument that used to measure humidity is called a hygrometer. Hygrometer is the unit of hygrometer is the unit of humidity that is measured as grams, kilograms, or kilograms per kilogram. Sorry, grams per kilogram or kilograms per kilogram. So you can see the picture of a hygrometer over here. It measures the amount of water vapor that are present in the air. So this is which is called humidity. Okay, so we have discussed about different weather conditions that are present in the air, and these are called these are the weather conditions that are present in the air, and we can that help us in predicting weather, the weather forecast. So what now, if you somebody asks that how meteorologists they predict rain, so you're going to tell them that they measure different factors, and then according to those factors they kind of predict the rain. So those factors are temperature, the rainfall, wind direction, wind speed, air pressure, and humidity. And you also know that what these things are, what these conditions are, and what we use, what instruments do we use to measure them, and what are the units for their measurement. So that's all for today. Please revise this lecture at home, and I'm going to see you in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.